It's time for one of my personal heroes, Kathy Bates. Kathy stars in Matlock. Oh, she's coming out. Come on out. Here we go. And let's welcome to the stage as well, Jenny Snyder Urman, showrunner, creator. But let me just read you this intro right now. So in this show, Kathy stars as Mattie Matlock, a woman returning to the workforce at a prestigious law firm, where she reveals an uncanny ability to win cases and takes everyone by surprise, including senior attorney Olympia, played by Sky P. Marshall. And Olympia's ex-husband, Julian, played by Jason Ritter. But what none of her new co-workers realize is that Mattie is on a secret mission of her own. So now, let's roll a clip before we get into the conversation.
Were you and Ellie close?
Sometimes. But we weren't on the best of terms when she passed.
Can you tell me about Ellie?
She was bigger than life. She just wanted more of it all the time. You could not tell that child she couldn't do something. I remember I took her to the park. She was about 5. And she was having none of that rinky-dinky kid play structure. She just marched right up to that big kid one. She pushed past all these 10-year-olds, and she climbed up to that double-decker jungle gym.
You must have been terrified and a little proud.
I was a lot proud. Till she decided she liked all the attention and she wouldn't come back down. Eventually ended up in a cast. Boy, she was a piece of work, that kid. She was the she-darn love of my life.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take you back there. I know everyone says it, but I do not know how you can lose a kid and keep going.
You learn to breathe again. That's what it's like. Learning to breathe on some new planet. It's totally inhospitable to human life. And then somebody says, "Tell me about Ellie."
I think that's an acting masterclass. I think you'll agree. So I just absolutely love this show, and it has been an enormous hit. You've already been nominated for multiple awards. You won the Critics' Choice. This was the biggest debut of a show on CBS in 5 years. So first of all, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about, Kathy, maybe you could kick us off. Tell us about the first meeting you both had when this came up, and why you wanted to play this role when you first talked to Jenny.
You go. Well, when I originally pitched it, you always say to the studio and network, imagine somebody fabulous. So I said, imagine Kathy Bates. And I'm still shocked that I get to work with Kathy Bates. And we met. She said she liked the script and wanted to meet. And everybody sent me out there and said, do a good job, win her over. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And when I went to the restaurant and met Kathy, and she said to me right away, I love this script. I wouldn't change a word. Let's talk about the work. And my whole body relaxed, because that's the language that I know how to talk about, and we just started a creative conversation that I think has not stopped since.
Yeah, the big moment for me was when you said, what don't you like about working? And I don't think anybody had ever asked me that in 50 years of being in this business. And so we were able to discuss a couple of things that I needed, and one of them was, please don't abandon me. Because I think as actors, we, especially when we're working, people are over by the video watching everything, and you're out on the set, and it feels like you're separated from everybody, and it's not a good feeling. You really want to be part of a team. I know when I've directed before, I like to have an apple box right under the camera. I don't want to be looking through a video where I can't really see people's expressions. But people don't do that anymore. And sometimes if the cameras are moving, you can't. But, and Jenny's always been so encouraging, and as I've gotten to get to know her, you really love lifting people up, and you've got an eye for talent, and you bring people up and give them a boost, and you're awesome. I've never met anybody like you.
That's so lovely. I did want to ask, what was it about Matlock for you, Kathy? What did it mean to you to step into that name, that legacy? And how did you talk about honoring the name with this show?
I think you can best answer that, I think.
Yeah, and we talked about wanting to create something new, but pay homage to the old in terms of having a folksy lawyer at the center and nod to it a few times. I always, when adapting something, don't want to remake it because that piece of art exists, and why would we do something that was the same? So we were really trying to capture the spirit while doing an original show. And the moments that we pick to play the music, or when Kathy's in a dream sequence in the suit, we're being more overt, but really it's sort of approaching the law with a folksy eye towards people and connection, and figuring out what's important to people and connecting that way.
I really related to the character. As an actor, I got excited about playing a woman who really had a double life. And when I read the first episode, the pilot, what I loved about it was that it was not your regular episodic show, crime show, legal show, that the twist at the end gives it substance, and it's something that it's about an epidemic that very few people really, I think, understood about how it developed in this country and the impact it has. I think that the other thing is that when there's an issue like that, it's easy to look at it as a group, hundreds, thousands, whatever. And when you talk about it being one person, one daughter, how it affected one family, it personalizes it in a way. And it drives Maddie through the season, is that she wants to find the person responsible for hiding documents that might have helped at least slow down this epidemic, and cause she wants to call attention to it, and as well as punish the people that she thinks were. So all of that was so exciting to me. And also, let's face it, a woman who's going to be 77 in June is not offered these kinds of roles, I mean, I'm really glad that they decided not to make it Matlock's granddaughter,
That would not have been the same at all, and I'm so glad too. Can I also, you mentioned the opioid crisis, you mentioned age, and Jenny, you had seen Dope Sick, you had done a lot of research into the opioid crisis. You address that crisis, you address ageism, you address societal issues in the case of The Week. Can you talk about knowing that you wanted to set out with Kathy to air some of those issues?
Yeah, it's about looking at the world and then looking at the big issues and then making them really small and specific. Like you were saying, every single person is the whole world to their family, to their, so all, and I always think, I have a friend who lost a son, and I don't know, that how you recover from that and how you learn to rebuild a life. And I think, it was combining that what we wanted to say socially with also just looking at grief and how we move on and how this woman is finding new ways to parent her daughter because she feels like she let her down in some way. And that's all about the weight we put on ourselves as women in the world and what can we do and what's too much. So I wanted like all of that to be in this character, that she's trying to do something that she thinks is very noble and she's not even aware of all the layers at which she needs this. And through the course of the season, she realizes what it's giving her as well, and it becomes her addiction in a lot of ways too. And we talk about addiction in a lot of different lights. And you know, I have Kathy, so I just keep writing layers and layers and layers, and she plays them all. So.
Well, thank you. I wanted to also say there was a comment on the Reddit board about last week's episode that had.
I love that you read the Reddit board.
Well, okay. So my niece is, you know, I'm not allowed to be on Instagram or Reddit or anything else because she knows me that if I, you know, see a gazillion wonderful things, then I'll see one negative thing and that's what I'll pick up on. Although I hear that that's very human. So that makes me feel better. But the one that she read was there was a woman who was on a jury. And last week's episode had to do with a woman who had been on a jury and who was bullied so much that she ended up caving when the man really was innocent and had been in prison for 21 years. And so she was coming to see if we could help. And this woman on the Reddit board said it really hit her hard because she had the same experience of being on a jury like that. So as a result of that, when she goes in to be called for jury duty, she explains that and they don't take her.
Wow. Wow.
That's incredible. I mean, that shows you the impact that this show has, and just sheer numbers of people that are watching and loving this show and getting something from it. Jenny, I just want to call out that you are known for creating female-led shows that are fresh and different. You did Jane the Virgin, for example, and I just love what you're doing with this show. I love Sky P. Marshall in this show, and I love the dynamic between you and her. Can you talk about working with her in the role of Olympia?
Just love her. I mean, we had a chemistry read with about 4 actresses, and when she came in, she was just larger than life and gorgeous and just very open and eager and then of course just brilliantly talented. And she's had a long, I mean, I wish she was here because she's had a long road to this magnificent explosion now with Matlock. And it's so wonderful to see all of that happening for her. And we make fun of her because, like at the Critics' Choice and other things that she goes to, she knows everybody. And I don't know anybody. It's just so wild. Excuse me. And but also the power, you know, in the pilot, she has a big monologue which has to do about race and how this particular case we're dealing with is a very race-based case, and she calls Maddie on it. And when we shot that, and I was on the other side of that power coming from her, I just thought, okay, now we've got a show, and now we've got a strong woman, 2 strong women who can duke it out.
Yeah.
You know, which is, and also I think fall in love with each other. You know, that's what the series I think is the nugget is that this rare relationship that we celebrate.
So I'm so excited for season 2. We aren't quite at the finish yet, but we can say, what can we say?
We can say that the next episode is really a game changer. Okay. You know, Olympia knows. So, and we can also say that we will solve it by the end of the season, and it leaves a host of new problems, but you get, I think, you know, I always wanted to have a real satisfying answer to the question that we asked at the beginning. So I think these next 3 episodes are some of our best. And
yeah, I agree. I'm really excited for you to see next week, especially because I'm really wonderful in it. I have to also say it really is Sky's episode. It's really Sky's episode. She drives it, and it's so great. And I can't wait for y'all to see it. I know you're going to love it. And the gentleman in the front row right here was the guy at the bar with me.
There he is, front row. Before I let you go, I do want to say you, I believe, are going to do some directing in season 2.
Yes, it's been a long time. The last thing I did, I think, was 6 Feet Under, a couple of little made-for-TV movies. I'm going to do an episode, and I'm very excited.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Everybody, Matlock, thank you so much to both of you. It's fantastic. Thank you.